Black Lives Matter held a press conference this morning where they blasted Pride for what they're calling their abysmal handling of black issues and renewed the calls to keep police floats out of Toronto's Pride Parade. Well, joining me now live with more is Janaya. She's the co-founder of Black Lives Matter. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
A really tumultuous time for, it seems, everybody in the city right now with all kinds of issues. And what I want to know, I guess, first off, if you could reiterate for us, what is the problem that you have with the way Pride handles what you call blackness and that whole situation, and why is your group calling it abysmal?
I think, for one, we need to talk about the history of Pride. Pride started here in Toronto in 1981 as a riot against police brutality. It was meant to support some of the most marginalized people in the community. Somewhere along the line, it lost that sort of political significance. More than that, over the last 18 years, where Blackness, yes, has been one of the groups with Pride, representing black and brown people, they have one of the largest stages that brings out a huge draw. And we've seen their budgets get slashed. Their stage has been displaced. We've seen BQI get pushed out of space. So these are things that we're dealing with when we talk about the disappearance of black infrastructure and anti-black racism and Pride.
And yet you were still invited to lead the parade. So was that not a good enough gesture that Pride is showing how inclusive they want to be of your group as well?
I don't know if that's the question to ask. I think really when you're put in a situation where you have a platform and you're an honored group, I think we need to be consistent with our political alignment and honor the communities that we serve. And that was what our investment was.
Do you think that maybe Pride has become perceived to many as less political because there are advancements in the whole way society reflects and looks upon the LGBTQ community? Like, is that not a positive in that sense?
I would say that the advancements have been for a very select few. I would say that the advancements have still left behind some of our most marginalized community members whose political histories are deeply connected to Pride and what it's represented for those marginalized communities.
So it sounds as though you're very discouraged by Pride, disappointed. I mean, you saw that the document was signed, you know, during the parade to get things moving again, but you feel that you've been sort of double-crossed by Pride?
We're hopeful. We're hopeful. We're actually invested in creating a more inclusive Pride. And, you know, while we saw Mathieu Chantelois sort of backtrack from the commitments that he made, we're not actually looking at this as a hopeless situation. We're still going to take lead from our communities, from the communities that we serve, and we're still going to push and ensure that those demands are seen through. So you're going to meet with Pride soon? I believe that there will be a time when we do meet, yes.
Okay, and we'll hear about those results. Let's move on to another matter right now. You're aware of the shootings that have happened in the U.S.? 2 black men have lost their lives. They're police shootings, one in Baton Rouge, one in St. Paul, Minnesota. What are your thoughts?
It's devastating. It's devastating when we continuously are psychologically assaulted by the continual reality of Black death. Philandro Castile and Alton Sterling were family members. They were people in their community. Their lives had meaning and merit, and it is because of those instances that we have a Black Lives Matter movement at all. That's across North America, because we can see the same things with Jermaine Carby and with Andrew Loku. These are not separate issues.
Can we see any kind of stepping up of activity by Black Lives Matter or protest groups in the wake of these shootings that you're hearing of?
I think that we're going to try to create healing spaces for Black people in the community and for allies who also want to support that healing and who also need healing themselves. I wouldn't necessarily say that we're going to create entire actions around it, because we've been actively fighting systemic and structural oppression.
Okay, well, we appreciate you coming in today. We look forward to more discussion with you.